It's yeah.
It's like my dream come true.
They really do not like him.
Yeah, finally they see the true him.
Yeah,
they find you a long time ago.
Yeah,
he hasn't changed one bit. See now, hopefully. Oh, okay. Sorry, go ahead.
No, Gerald, you were showing us some what looked to be some components and wiring.
Oh, Gerald does some homework.
Yes, we do.
Just kidding. Hang on. Get my ugly mug out of here.
So, anyways, that's my my little presentation. I'll take my bow.
Mike.
Thank you, Mike. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll. Are you guys gonna be on longer or?
Probably for a while, yeah.
All right, I'm gonna sign off here because I'm outside, so I'm using data right now. So, yeah,
Okay.
Great job,
chat.
Mike.
Yep. Okay,
Awesome.
I'll hook up with you guys later.
Later, Mike.
Okay. Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay, I got a quick question. I know Gerald's got a couple circuits, and then Jeremiah, did you just have one?
We were talking about ZVS earlier, and I've miniaturized some ZVS circuits, so I was just going to show one example here.
Yeah, you can go ahead. I can wait.
So this is a simplified circuit. It takes a infrared input here with this IR sensor, and that allows you to control pulse width modulation on this little ZVS coil driver. And so these are the components that go into a ZVS and portable voltage multiplier running that circuit. It's incredibly small. Here's your little IR sensor. And when it's all put together, it's just this little tiny board. Now on the other side, the rest of the components. So this is an example of an earlier version. And what's neat about these things is they're ultra responsive. So most ZVS, they have a limited frequency input. They generally crap out above about 70 to 100 kilohertz. And if you get them to operate in higher frequencies, they're generally operating class E, so they don't have enough push-pull current for the MOSFET gates. This will show that we found a way around that. Do you have audio? Did you get audio on that?
Yeah, do you mean shut it off?
No. I was just making sure that it was actually coming through. That's all. This is what it's doing. So it shows that we can pulse width modulate the output of a voltage multiplier that has the correct output impedance, which normally voltage multipliers you think of, you want steady state DC. Well, in this case, they're specifically designed to generate AC, very high potential AC. And in this case, I think this one is like 68 kV or something on those lines. But we miniaturized the entire thing, and here's what it looks like. This is one of those micro miniature transformers. This entire transformer and the resonating capacitor for this ZVS, they are like itty bitty.
Okay. Size of your fingertip.
Yeah, exactly. And so they'll pump. I've been able to get 40 watts of pulse power out of them, and about 10 watts of continuous power for sustained periods of time. They're 20 watts average. And so this is what the arc from one of those little transformers looks like, and you'll just be able to see the power. It's practically a welding arc. I'm just pulsing it because if I leave it run for any longer than that, the terminals will evaporate off. But the transformer has no problem pumping it. So when you connect that to a little voltage multiplier circuit like this one here, you end up getting this. Here is the miniature 10 gram, 88,000 volt, 20 watt power supply. I have it hooked up to a static power supply, which is simulating 2 dead lithium-ion batteries right now. And zooming back, the output of that high voltage generator is hooked up to this ion air cleaner. So this will give us a thrust simulation. Right now I'm going to optically stimulate the circuit, and this is what its output looks like. So here, that controller that has a green LED underneath my palm, it's just got an infrared LED output that's pointing into this circuit, and so the optical sensor is picking that up wirelessly so that there's complete isolation between the power supply and the driver.
Is
It's
this
like an
for your
optical
voltage one?
isolator.
It is what?
Go ahead, Shawn.
Is it an optical isolator?
No, there's a photo sensor. It's a tiny little solar panel that's encapsulated in epoxy, and it's a conventional commercial component that you'll generally find inside of a laser galvanometer or something on those lines. And
you're using that to isolate yourself from the high voltage?
right.
Awesome.
Yeah, so
Very
it just
cool.
uses a little LED. You can effectively send it across the room, or if you used a more focused beam, you could send it, I mean, hundreds of, miles, realistically, if you wanted, but depending
Super
on
cool.
sensitivity too. So the idea is, remote control by line of sight. It's not ideally remote control, but it at least isolates my driver circuit so I can input the same PWM signals at a square wave with very sharp edges, and I don't have to be in physical contact between floating circuits.
That's awesome.
This little tissue paper here is just sitting on the back of the fins for this air cleaner assembly, and it's all being powered by this little voltage multiplier here. You can see it's frequency variable, so I can have thrust control simply by PWM modulation and audio range.
Wow. That's cool. And it's ion wind.
All in all, it's basically ready for integration directly into some kind of glider or ultralight airframe. And all it needs is simply that frame to work with, so I can adapt the electrode plates and create the ion thrust mechanism on that airframe. So this gives you kind of an idea what I'm looking for. We just need something very light to put it inside of. So I did end up actually building that ion airframe. I have to stop here now. And I've got an insanely light 1 meter glider. It's like 20 something grams, the entire glider. And that power supply only weighs 11 grams now with the wires.
Nice.
And battery packs don't weigh much. So, I mean, realistically, it could beat out MIT at a 5-to-1 ratio. I'm buddied with Ethan Krause, who is currently the only guy who's achieved self-sustained and integrated ion lift with its own onboard power supply. And he owns the company Electron Air, and we've had many great conversations. He's really optimized in terms of miniaturization, the high voltage power supply and CVS module, and we've kind of traded off ideas, and both of us have done a huge amount of work making these things uber super tiny. So
you've made like high voltage pens and
yeah,
wands,
that's right.
and I've seen those before. You're really good at miniaturizing. That's great.
It's fun, right? The challenge is, if we want something to be pretty close to magic, we need to be able to pick it up and carry it with us. I understand I'm all for big bench rack mount power supply units, and you got nice 6 UHV racks from Spellman and whatnot, but if we really want the magic, we've got to be able to carry it around in our hands. And
yeah,
that's what we're working on optimizing is making this stuff portable, because ultimately along boards of a spacecraft, it's got to fly. So no reason to carry extra mass with you.
Yeah, thank you for presenting. That's very interesting. Awesome.
It's very cool. I like it. I like that little wand. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
Well, which one? I mean, let's see. We've got a bunch of them here. I'll just pull up a few.
Didn't you guys sell them at one time?
No. Everybody asked us to sell them. We can't sell them, and I'll tell you why. Okay, so this one will do 130 kV.
Wow.
This one will do about 100 kV. Though technically it can do 120 kV. But this one is positive output and it's pulse. This one is negative output, and it's the one I showed in the video. These are safe enough on their own, and to demonstrate that I can, so I can hit myself. It's not going to stop my heart. It doesn't have enough current. It's resistor limited. But here's the problem. Imagine I sell these. Little kid goes up to grandpa and says, "Hey, want to see a magic trick?" And so these make feathers levitate and oils float around and all kinds of stuff, right? So he zaps grandpa. Grandpa's got a pacemaker, but grandpa's standing on a tile. He's standing on a linoleum tile in the kitchen. Okay, so little Johnny charges grandpa up to 100,000 volts.
Yeah,
which is the
capacitor.
faucet, and what happens? Right. So that's the problem. These are not dangerous. What they can do in terms of building up charge, that is dangerous. And I'm just, I understand that if this gets out there, like it's basically like any kind of drug or anything else that you're going to do when you have to reach a certain age. We've validated in society that you have to be of a certain age to have the social responsibility to know how to consume something or use something or, drive a vehicle or operate equipment. And this is one of those pieces of such equipment.
Yeah. Like a taser or something. It's almost like a firearm.
As wonderful as it is. And you can, if you're a responsible parent, you can teach a kid how to use that thing and not build up capacitance. You can show the demonstration of doing lightning craft and basically making, 1 foot lightning bolts with that little handheld thing.
That's amazing.
You want to make sure that they understand, don't harm people accidentally, right?
Yeah.
Or yourself.
Yeah.
It's some pretty good times. I know both, we can all share about that. I've been doing it, 24 years now. So
Shawn set me up. He sent me this little wand thing in the mail, right? So I used it, put it on my beard, man. It absolutely zapped me. They had me comb my hair with it, zapped me again. Yeah. He had the greatest time laughing at me. He made a little mini Tesla coil out of it, but he got me.
Oh, I should. I mean,
have you got the pointer for it?
Oh, look how small that is.
That's another thing. You and your friend are really good at miniaturized Tesla coils.
Well, I mean, we did create the circuits for them. I mean, they're all over the internet. A lot of people have copied them. So
I was going to say, you have a lot of different really cool designs, miniature designs. I mean, even the top load is unique. The coiled top load is really fascinating.
Oh, we kind of copycatted this. This top load here is just this full wire and. Geez, who was it? So I think I first seen this on Electric Boom. So here's the thing. Electric Boom copied my electric magic wand. He really wanted one, but I wasn't going to give him one. So for his 4 million subscriber self-reward, he built himself one of my electric magic wands, but he didn't do a very good job. So it only has about 1/8 the power output of mine, which is a shame because he could have done a lot better. It's not that hard to fit the transformer in there. And I'll tell you, the real secret here is the transformer. And you can see it. And I've left this clear so I can kind of show this.
Yeah.
And this power transformer is not that particularly large, but that power transformer with the mashed impedance driver, which you can kind of see the inductor in the moving towards the back here. Okay.
Yeah.
You get all those circuits matched up and they'll go into resonance. And so this has a much higher output potential than you would expect from a transformer that's basically only as wide as 1 digit of your pointer finger.
Right.
And
you said it's impedance matched? Is that what you said?
Yeah, it's impedance matched. You got to treat this thing is matched like an RF transmitter.
Yes.
And the antenna that it's going into is the multiplier stage that runs along the stem here of the wand.
Okay, makes sense.
So Electric Boom, he doesn't really understand that, but he copied our design. So we took his little, toroid design and we made it better. And that's this. So,
very cool. How did he take your design? Did he watch your video or?
Yeah. He showed he showed one of our video clips in his video clip where he's talking about, these guys did it safe. Well, we don't want to do it safe here. So.
He never does.
Yeah, we use 100 picofarad capacitors because those are incapable of delivering a high enough current for sustained damage. So basically, you get this one initial discharge. The body is designed to really handle an initial static discharge and just one pulse, but it can't handle multiple. So the multiplier stage will build up to a very high potential, but then it can't continue to deliver that kind of current in a short situation. which is why it's nice with that 100 picofarads. So he used, I think, 1,000 picofarads or something like that. And that will deliver a deadly amount of current continuously. So we chose not to use that in our design.
Yeah, that's a nanofarad. Yeah, it's a lot more than a pico. Microamps.
Right, exactly. It acts electrostatically, anyways, is the idea. It's as close as you're going to get, basically, to an electrostatic system. By the way, Fun Fly Stick, the corporation, or the company that makes Fun Fly Stick, anyways, it's a Van de Graaff generator. It uses a little rubber band that runs inside of a tube, a cardboard tube. Well, they emailed me on my Facebook page for Joining the Technicians back when I was running that channel before Exotic Propulsion, and they tried to tell me that I had better cease and desist because my device was stepping on their patents, and I'm like, well, I'm not selling it, first off, so please go suck a bag of D. And I said, secondly, this exists in the patent records since 1935, which are expired, and you guys can also go, bite the big one, because I have no intention of either selling this, nor, if I sold it, have any intention of giving you anything from this, so leave me alone. I have patents that go back and prove this stuff was publicly released and is well within the records. They cannot say that just because you stick a battery on a voltage multiplier that you are therefore subject to regulation of their patent because they created a kid's toy. But yeah, they actually sent me 3 different threatening letters to not tell people how to build these things and not to dare sell them. And so I just told them to suck a bag of D, like I said. So.
I mean, it's kind of a compliment that a big company looks to you and as competition when they have all the smart engineers they're paying, and they're stepping on their toes. I mean, it's kind of a backhanded compliment. But
it shows you how different the ideas of profit motivated versus idea motivated.
Yeah.
So that's corporations, I mean, like that. You've got Sharper Image, for example. Think about it. Sharper Image created the Ionic Breeze. They purchased rights to patents that had been expired in order to sustain them, and they had some kind of special way that they managed to grab T.T. Brown's patents. If you take a look at the references on Sharper Image's Ionic Breeze, they are actually using some of the circuits and designs from T.T. Brown's motion converter or kinetic systems. And I think that's pretty fantastic. Now, not a lot of those are sold these days, and the same technology basically hasn't changed. I did get my hands on an Ionic Breeze once and take a look at their driver circuit. It's fantastic. They're pulsing the output DC in a very similar way to the video that I showed you guys, and they're getting a much higher efficiency for it. So
interesting.
Even old stuff like the anti-grav guys, Thomas Townsend Brown, have been still relevant in today's market.
Interesting. Well, thanks for sharing. Well, that's great. Are we supposed to hear from Gerald and his components? And
I can't find him.
Oh,
I've been looking for him for the last 5 minutes, and I can't find him. I sent him emails and messages, and I don't know where he went.
He dropped off.
Well, I'm gonna jump off because I've got to prep dinner. So,
thank you. So
have
much
a good night. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
Good stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. He just kind of disappeared there and didn't leave a message to me or nothing. So I don't know what's going on. Hopefully he'll pop back on soon.